Hey. So I'm completely coming to you not at all live from India, where we are really deep in the preparations for something called Maha shivaratri, which is one of the most important Hindu celebrations of the year. Maha shivaratri is basically referring to a certain phase of the moon, when the moon is supposed to have the least amount of influence over us that it does in the entire year. So to understand this a little bit better, we can just think about the full moon and how that influences us. So usually the full moon is a moment where we feel the most emotional, the most irrational, the most erratic. The moon in Hinduism is representing the emotions and the lower mind. The lower mind is like the conditionings, the beliefs, the projections. So when we are heavily influenced by the moon, we get full moon and we have the most tendency to get in fights and to be irrational and overdramatic and stab people in the face or whatever it is that we do during full moon. This is the exact opposite. This is the moment where the moon is exerting the least amount of influence over the consciousness. And so the consciousness can shine forth. Shiva is just a Hindu name given to this principle of the undivided consciousness. So in preparation for this festival, for this auspicious moment, people are fasting and doing austerities. And they're doing that because we've probably noticed that also what we take into the body in terms of food, in terms of information, in terms of environment, also affects our consciousness. So there are some places, if we go into a meditation retreat, it's easier for us to meditate and to remain conscious. If we're in the middle of a full moon party, less so. So it's a time of preparation for this moment, which is said to be the most auspicious moment for us to get enlightened the whole year. So unfortunately, I'm pretty sure very few of us are going to reach enlightenment on March 5th. But what might happen is we might be able to drop a veil or two that is covering up our judgment, that is covering up our true purpose, that is covering up the light of our consciousness. Enlightenment is a kind of grandiose and not so easy to understand term. I studied with a Buddhist nun who gave me the best definition I have ever heard of it. It was Venerable Rabina Kutin, and she's in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. And her definition was, enlightenment is no more lies in the mind. And I like this idea a lot. It's simple, it's clear, it's not esoteric, it's not woo-woo. She's talking about the filters and the conditionings and the things that alter our perception so that we don't see reality as a clear field. We see it according to what we believe it to be. And so Shivaratri is an opportunity for us to get that clear field, to take a look at what is really happening. So the invitation is to be conscious about this. Take a look at what filter in your mind do you feel is causing you the most amount of suffering, and what kinds of things contribute to that filter being in place. So maybe things you watch on TV, maybe things you eat, maybe things you read, maybe people that you're around. And what can you do as a celebration, as a stamp of your commitment to move more into this possibility of having your consciousness win over the other crazy influences in our minds. All right, good luck. I would love to hear what you're wanting to let go of and how you're gonna do it. So feel free to leave me a message because I wanna know. All right, love you guys.